Welcome. You have all of the prior knowledge that you need to be successful on this lesson. So make sure that you are taking some good notes and following along so that you can be successful going through the process of writing an equation for a line that passes through a given point and slope. So the goal is to be able to write an equation. Remember, equation represents a line, and on a line you are given a series of points, and a line has a slope or rate of change. So again, all of these things are prior knowledge. You know something about them. Now we're just putting some pieces together. So, with our goal to write an equation for a line that passes through a given point and slope, we need to remember slope-intercept form. Okay? Y equals mx plus b is slope-intercept form, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. When writing an equation, when you have a final equation, the only values that will be plugged in your final answer will be slope and intercept because it's called slope-intercept form. So remember that in your final answer, those two values should be plugged in. The y and x, generally in an equation, they don't have a value, but those are a y coordinate and an x coordinate of an ordered pair. So we can use them to find a missing piece if we're not sure what the slope is or we're not sure what the y-intercept is. So we're going back to our knowledge of solving equations, also from the beginning of the year. So make sure that you are sharp with your integers and inverse operations. And when in doubt, use your calculator so they don't make simple mistakes. Here are the steps for how we are going to write an equation when we're given m and we're given x and y, but we are not given b. So what we will do is we will plug in what you know. You'll plug in your x, your y, and your m into y equals mx plus b. Then the goal will be to solve this because that's the only variable left standing that we don't know. Then, once you have m and you have b, the final step is to rewrite into slope-intercept form. Remember, where you'll have a value here for m and you'll have a value here for b. So let's give these a try. First thing I like to do is make sure that I label my x and y so I don't mix them up. So this is x, this is y, and slope is m. I write slope-intercept form with variables so I know that I plug in exactly where I need. My y value is -4. My m value is -6. Since it's multiplication, I put my x value in parentheses, and then I don't know b. So now I can solve my equation. Some of you are still making the train tracks. That's great. So then I get -4 is equal to -6 times 1 is -6 plus b. Here's where a lot of you might mess up. Notice you're adding a -6. To undo that, we are going to subtract a -6, which is the same as adding 6. -4 plus 6, two more positives than negatives, goes away over here, so we get 2 equals b. Since it's called slope-intercept form, and now we know our slope and we know our intercept, we're ready to write y equals slope of -6, x plus 2. Noticing this is my equation and the slope and the intercept are plugged in. Over here, label x, y, m. Make sure that you know where to plug them into. So y is -3, m is 5, x is -1, and I don't know b. -3 is -5 plus b. Again, I'm adding a negative, so to undo that I subtract a -5, which is adding 5. -5 plus 5 is 0, so it should go away. Two more positives than negatives. I again get b equals 2. I would normally write that b equals 2. So then I plug it in. Y equals my slope of 5 times whatever x value plus my y-intercept of 2. If you feel comfortable, go ahead and try these next two. If not, follow along. At least try to do one on your own to make sure that you can do it by yourself. So here I'm going to label x, y, and m. Notice it's a fraction. Don't let that scare you. It has a denominator of 2. It should be easy to work with. Y equals mx plus b. Plug in y. Plug in m. Plug in x plus b. I'm going to put that over 1 so I can see that I'd multiply. And I get 2 is equal, 1/2 of 2 is 1 plus b. Get b alone by subtracting 1. And I get b is equal to 1. Now with my y-intercept and my slope, I can write my equation. Y equals my slope of 1/2 times x plus 1. Last one, x, y, m. Plugging them in to y equals mx plus b. I get 4 is equal to my slope of -3 times x, which is 0, plus b. Well, 0 times any number is 0, so I get 4 equals b. My equation is y equals slope of -3, x plus 4. Nice thing about this one is, notice when x is 0 and y has a value, that is your y-intercept. That's where it crosses the y-axis. So some of you might have been able to see that right away and plugged it in. All right, so make sure you understand that. Here's some practice problems if you'd like. We'll work on a little bit of that tomorrow. Good luck.